Big wheels rolling, moving on. Big wheels rolling, gotta keep them going. Big wheels rolling, moving on.
Is it time for a new backhoe? Well, I found another. This is a pretty fresh one right here. I think it might have been cracked around this, the boss on this pin for just a little bit, but this is pretty shiny here, so I'm gonna say that's a fresh break, and it didn't break on both sides. Thank God I saw it before it did break on both sides, because I'd be down in the field. And one thing I don't want to do is have downtime in the field. If I can fix it here on the weekends at home, that's great. So looks like it's going to be another good weekend. I wasn't recording. Now you got to start all over. This is a hard job, this acting stuff.
Yeah, I know. I got to get back in the zone.
Eric's giving me advice on how to fix this backhoe.
No, I do have some really good screws going through red iron.
Oh yeah.
That are fine threaded.
Fine threaded.
That'll go
red
through
iron
that.
screws.
And
So
we
could
can
just
put a patch on it somehow.
So we could just put a screw, just screw it together.
Mm-hmm.
It probably would work. We could put a piece of sheet metal on the back side, one on the front side. Think it'd fit? Fix it? Anyway, I don't know.
That'll work. Will look like before I weld it. I have shaped up this, I know it's a little bumpy, but it's okay. I've left a landing in here so I can keep this aligned with the other side over there. Anytime you're doing something like this, you got to look for things that you can use to your advantage to keep things straight. And that's what I got on this. Is we can line that circle up in the old bore hole, and I have everything beveled out to about where I need it to get a full penetration weld with 6010. And this part here is pretty much preheated right now. It's, well, not quite hot enough maybe, but I'll put a little preheat on there, I guess. I mean, I'm not sure it needs it, but I don't think it hurts. Welds usually do better if you don't just have a freezing cold piece of steel. Things seem to flow in a little bit better if you got a little heat in there. One thing I want to tell you is be sure when you do a repair like this, you get all the grease and oil off of it. I did not know this until recently. I've learned that if you've got grease or oil on these parts when you weld them, it causes hardening. Kind of like how they harden knives whenever they dip them in oil. You'll have a hardening happen, and you don't really want your welds hard. It's good for a knife blade, but not a repair. A repair needs to be, it needs to, you know, move with the steel it's connected to, so you need that flex. I did notice this other, and it's hard to see from here, this other side over here, and I may have to raise the loader up to get access to it because of it's pretty close to the hood here, or the grill, but there is a crack about halfway around that one, so I'm gonna go ahead and what I'll do on it is grind down the weld that's there and see how that goes. But right now I'm gonna weld this up here. I think it's gonna be like I say, a fairly simple weld, but see how I've got everything V-grooved back. I may need to grind this off a little bit here. Everything's just almost got a gap. You can almost see daylight through a few places, and that's what I want. I want this to go in, when I'm done, I want this to be full thickness on that plate. The reason these, I think one of the reasons these fail is if you look at this bushing, the weld was not in the center of the bushing. It's got extra length out here. If it would have been welded on both sides, it would have never broke. Most likely, or a full penetration weld would have never broke. Most likely. Something else might have broke, but I don't think it would have broke there. Like I say, there's not enough room in here. I can't put anything on the inside of this because of the cylinders. It fills up this whole space. And the safety guard is on the outside, so I'm not even going to try to fish plate or anything like that. And I don't see a need to. I think the repair I'm going to make is going to hold. You know, so that's the plan, and I'll get the old Lincoln fired up and we'll do a little more welding. Anytime you weld on a machine, especially the newer stuff that has computers, this one doesn't really have a computer on it, but it's a good idea to disconnect your batteries. And you never want to weld through a joint. I mean, you want your ground as close as possible to the part you're welding on, so there's no stray electricity going through different directions or anything like that. So this is, you know, within 2 feet. But I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect my battery just to be on the safe side. Let the pipeline warm up a bit. What I'll show you is when you're disconnecting a battery on a piece of machinery, whether it be a car or pickup or anything, you should always disconnect your negative first. And the reason for that is if I were to disconnect the positive over here first and I bump my wrench against the frame or the tractor, I would arc out. If I'm over here on this side, I'm on the ground side, so it doesn't matter. After the ground is disconnected, you can touch this, the metal, and it won't matter. So this is just a safety precaution. I don't have a lot of those on my stuff, but it's just something to keep an eye on, just something. But what I've got to do here, if I disconnect this bolt out of this connector, these two, this one goes to the starter or the frame. This one goes to the second battery, and this is the first battery. So all I got to do is disconnect this right here, and my tractor's disconnected from the batteries in a safe way. I'll put you down here a minute. I'll get that done.
burning off of there. Stuff's thick. I think we got it straight. think I'm happy with the result of that. And we'll get a little closer look here. Kind of did a weave on that 7018 to kind of cover up, so I don't have any undercut. And it's a little ugly down here on the bottom, but it's gonna work. Welding uphill around something round is kind of tricky if you've never done it, but I think I've got a pretty good, I can't really see up in there, but I think I got a pretty good repair on that, and everything seems to be lining up really well, so we're good on this side. Need to let her cool off and maybe shoot a little paint. And then over here I've got a crack on this one that goes from about halfway on one side, half on the other. So what I'm going to do is raise this bucket up, set it on some jack stands. I can't raise it without the cylinder connected, so I'll connect that up and jack, raise the cylinder, raise the boom up, put some jack stands under there where I can get over here on this side and weld it without, it helps to be in a better position. So anyway, let's get this done, and then extra grease on there. I just put this sack on there to keep the sparks and shavings out of the grease on the cylinder bushing. Something must have moved. Get it hard. Line up. Bunch of grease, dirt grease now. I'll tell you what, having this shop has really paid off. Being able to do this stuff on my own has saved me so much money. I could have probably paid for a bigger shop, but the one I got's perfect. As long as I'm just working on my stuff, it's perfect. I don't have too many projects in. Okay. Put the cylinder, the motor in float, so I can there we go. Now I should be able to raise the motor up, and we'll have to hook up the battery to start it. Get it up there. see it here. This kind of makes me a little bit nervous. It should stay there. It hasn't fell, but I don't know why I had this feeling that, boy, if that comes down, I'm gonna be in a bad spot. And so, just to be on the safe side, I got some blocks out, another jack stand. So anyway, it didn't go anywhere, but man, you gotta be careful on this stuff. You don't have a split second on something like this, and you're done for. And don't want that to happen. We're done. Not too bad. About a, I don't know, hour and a half job. We're ready to go dig some more ditches